Hey there, welcome to another Acrylic Asylum painting lesson. I'm Mike Ferris. In this video, I'm going to be getting started on this 14 by 11 hardboard canvas here with my image already laid out. And if you'd like help with this drawing image, there is the link available down in the description box, and also a short video on how I transfer images to my canvas using wax transfer paper. So as you can see, just all this stuff laid out. I'm going to be filling in colors into the foil without blending really at all. It's going to be very easy with just some values that are going to be playing together and going into their general places. And then on the lemons, it's going to be more building layers and shading and doing some things like that, which will be a little different from the foil. So to get started, I have permanent black, I have phthalo blue, this is light portrait pink, permanent red, raw umber, cad orange, and titanium white. So I'm just going to go and basically, like I said, just mix up different tones and values. Very simple. And just basically put the colors where they go. And believe it or not, this is a very simple painting. And don't let the final product or even this layout intimidate you. It is much easier than it looks. So I do promise that. Okay, so as you can see here, just a little phthalo blue, a touch of black, and some titanium white here with my palette knife. And now I'm going to take some of this portrait pink. And if you don't have portrait pink, you can always make it by taking just a little bit of this permanent red and then lots of white to make it very light, of course, and then just a teeny touch of raw umber, and that will give you pretty close to that same value. So as you saw there, a little bit of cad orange, a little bit of raw umber, and now let's get a little white to desaturate that just a little bit. So I'm just pre-making a couple values here, and I'll mix them as I go for the most part, but I just kind of wanted to lay these two out to begin with. So with my palette knife, just picking it up, smashing it down, and that really mixes all the empty pockets of color. Okay, so I have my number 6 flat brush here. I'm pretty much going to use this on all of the foil, and it's going to really help me to get nice clean edges. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to take a touch of this permanent black and some of this titanium white. I'm looking for kind of a light to mid-tone gray color, as this is also going to be played in here as well. Okay, a little bit more black into that to darken this. And I'll just start up here and I'll just go around the general shapes here. And this is a really nice edge with this flat brush. It's fairly new. And I recommend using an angle brush if you don't have a nice flat brush. And it is actually a little bit easier, I would say, than a flat brush anyways, but I just kind of went with this. I don't know, I change up sometimes. It just depends. I like to use the corner of the brush as well as the edge with these really nice brushes, and I can get in here really well and make these nice lines and precision very easily with this. So as you can see, just going around everything and just going up to the lines and just pretty much filling this in where it goes. Alrighty, I'm going to go into the background up here, and for that I'm going to take again this blue that I mixed up. I'm going to call this my Payne's gray color, and I'm going to take now with just base color and just block this in. And for now I'm not worried about final color and really getting all of the detail in. Of course, with acrylics, as you know, it's all about base color first, so I'm just putting just the general color of where everything goes, and I can come back on top and change values. So like for instance, I'm going to take some titanium white and I'm going to start on the very edge and then just kind of drag that in. As you can see, it just blends in really nice as I use very little pressure with the very tip of the brush without bending the bristles really. As Bob Ross would say, 2 hairs and some air. And that's pretty much what I'm doing here. So again, on the left here, I'm just going to get again some titanium white and I'll do the same thing. Alrighty, no cleaning necessary. I'm going to go into some titanium white now and just a little bit of permanent black. So this is going to be a little bit lighter gray than when I started up top. As you can see there, I like to mix them right next to each other so I can see the difference and how much of a difference I want to make between them. So again, just the edge of the brush, and I'll just fill in the general shapes in some places with this. So I'm going to leave a gap at places like this here. That just helps to keep everything mapped out and where I want to change values later. So for now, like I said, just getting base color and keeping things from getting lost with the same value where I want separations later. So I'm also going to make these little shapes here, as you see, within certain parameters, and I didn't trace out every last detail, and this is just to give me a way to be more creative. So again, leaving a line like this and just keeping that separation. And you can pretty much kind of do whatever you want to do within the parameters. As long as it's within its locations and different values planned, it will just come out and do what it's supposed to and pop and all of that. So without cleaning again, I'm just going to take some of that made blue, of that Payne's gray blue there, and now a little bit more white to brighten that up a bit. And then once again, just going to hit this value in some places where it goes and just kind of fill this in like so. Okay, without cleaning, I'm going to take some of that Payne's gray blue here and I'm going to get some more white into that. So I want to make it very light, but not too light. I want to have some more of that blue in there, so just a little bit more back into that. And again, in the background, I want to ramp up the light play a little bit. So again, I'm just going to put that back on as another layer, and then again, just drag it out very lightly into that darker value on both sides. Okay, again, no cleaning, and I'm going to take some permanent black now. And with this value, I'm going to hit this here and there and fill in some more shapes using the edge and the corner of my flat brush. Okay, just running that paint out as it runs off the brush, and I'm just going to bring it out into some of these shapes here like this to where it's going to be easy to blend back into them at some point. And for the most part, this is just hard lines and colors against one another, but there will be just a teeny bit of blending. So here, as you can see, just a little bit of shapes going on. You can kind of do this however. And as long as the values are all playing together, it really doesn't matter too much. It's just the way foil is. It's all random and there's, no real pattern or anything to it. So again, just going to blend back into that faded color that I left there. Okay, again, no cleaning. I'm going to take again some titanium white. And I'm going to go into that gray that I already made just a little bit. And to that, I just kind of want to darken that. So a little bit more permanent black into that. Okay, just something about this tone, kind of a light to mid-gray. And let's play this value in. Okay, again, leaving a gap here just to show some separation because I do have two of the same values playing in. Alright, as you can see, I'm going to take this darker gray over that permanent black that I had left all fuzzed out, and as you can see, it just makes it nice, receiving kind of blend. It's not a hard line that I have to sort of deal with, but by leaving that fuzzy kind of mess there, it just made it really easy to blend that darker gray into it, and so they look like they're fading off of one another, and it makes it more natural looking in that way. Okay, so again, the very edge and corner, you can see I get those shapes very precisely like this. And again, use that angle brush if you need to. Okay, now without cleaning again, I'm going to take again that Payne's Gray Blue that I made. Let's get some titanium white to that and really lighten this up. And let's see, a little bit more white. Yeah, that desaturates it down, brightens it up, and let's play this value in. Okay, again, no cleaning. Let's go back into some more of that Payne's Gray Blue for some more color there and saturation. So as you can see, just varying these values back and forth. Sometimes more white, sometimes more of the color, and in this way it changes it up. And in this way, it gets these values playing together, and this is what is creating all of the shine and the folds and 3D realism of this foil this way. And as you can see, I'm just doing these little shapes, and like I said, you can do these any way you want. You can make triangular or like, these irregular parallelogram or rhombozoids or, whatever kind of zoid or droid you want to you want to put in there. It's all good. It's all this random folds and values playing together. Okay. So again, without cleaning, let's go back into some more of that blue and let's throw this value around. So in some places, like I said, there will be somewhat of some blending, just a teeny bit. Like in here, I'm just putting more of that saturated Payne's Gray Blue on top of that lighter desaturated value that I put earlier, and just very little paint, very little pressure on the brush, and I can just kind of dust that in and fade it in, and it just blends in really nice this way. Okay, as you can see with this lighter gray tone, I'm just going to go into this shape here, and in that shape, I'm going to create another shape and leave some of that open. And again, you can pretty much kind of create within your parameters or whatever you want to do, and just kind of see what you can come up with or how that turns out. And of course, anything you don't like, just take a value and cover anything you don't want there, and use a value to cover, to shape the other value what it should be if it gets out of whack, or whatever you want to do. But for the most part, this is not going to make sense at all for a bit. This is going to look like a kaleidoscope of just triangular, irregular shapes of values just kind of thrown together. And hang in there. I'm telling you, it's just going to suddenly come out, and you're going to stand back and go, oh my God, there it is. There's the foil. I see it. It's so real looking. And I'm telling you, it starts this way, but hang in there. It will just pop. So just continue to follow along, sit back and enjoy the ride, and have fun. Okay, after some dark and gray values there, I'm going to go into this light portrait pink now. And I'm going to take a touch of raw umber to that. Okay, something about like this, that just dulls it down a little bit more. Okay, a little bit more of that pink in there. And I'm going to play this value in now. So this portrait pink is where it's at. I'm telling you, this right here is going to make all the difference with this value playing along, because this is what's going to make this foil shine and pop and give it that metallic look to it, believe it or not. So, of course, by itself it won't, but the way it plays with these other values is what does it. And of course, with all the shapes that they make. So, again, it's going to look weird at first. It's going to look like it's just a bunch of rubbish, I guess. So you just got to hang in there and trust the process. It is going to turn out. Just put the color where it goes, and I'm telling you, it'll just turn out. So as you can see, again, I'm making more shapes within this gray shape here. I'm just kind of putting these triangular things in, and that just helps to show some of the pop and the shine and what's going on with all the different folds and everything. So again, cover something if you don't like it, and just really just go for it. And you can really put these kind of however. Okay, again, no cleaning, just a teeny bit of cat orange and just a touch of raw umber to dull that back a bit. And again, I have some of that portrait pink, of course, still on my brush. And I want to just kind of fade this again into some of that gray here. Just kind of streak that up into that. That way it gives some gray sort of tone underneath, because in turn that really shows reflections going on within the foil instead of just colors everywhere, if that makes sense. That's why these undertones are so important in acrylics, because it really does something to the color that pops off of that makes it do what it does. So as you can see, just kind of streaking some of this orangey value in, playing it here and there, and this is going to show some reflective color, and it's going to really ramp up the shine that much more with this. Okay, so more raw umber into that. Okay, for a darker value here, and let's play that in and fill some stuff in with this. Okay, no cleaning. I'm going to take some titanium white to desaturate that value down. And let's add a little bit of raw umber back into that, just a little bit more. Okay, so changing these values around, more or less of a value, and mixing the same colors together and changing them. As you can see, they're all different. And in this way, when they contrast and they sit like this with different values playing together, this is what really gives what I like to call this reflective light play, where it's like metallic shine and just colors that kind of bounce off of one another and sort of change like this, and this really gives it such a dramatic and realistic effect this way. Okay, so I'm going to take again some more of that raw umber. As you can see, it's darker now. I'm going to add some more of that portrait pink that's laying there. Okay, and in here, I just want to add some more of that value again. Okay, so running that value on some gray tones there, as you saw. Okay, so I'm going to get some more raw umber. Now let's get some permanent red into that. And I have a little bit of that portrait pink still on my brush, so I kind of want to mix that in with that. And it's kind of this dull maroon sort of color. And you can see a little bit more of that portrait pink, and it just kind of makes it more vibrant, but not too vibrant. Okay, again, let's give some reflective light play, and let's throw this value in. Alrighty, again, no cleaning. I'm going to take again some more light portrait pink with just a teeny bit of cad orange and some titanium white. Okay, so this makes, again, a slight variation in value. So the way it works is that with this portrait pink, all the different variations playing together is really going to ramp up more and more that reflective light play as it bounces all over the place and really gives that metallic and shine to this foil. So really important to change up those values and just play them all around like that. Okay, just getting some more permanent black. And let's place some of this in. Alrighty, again, with a clean brush this time, I'm going to go into some more of that light portrait pink, a little cad orange, some titanium white, and a little of the permanent red. Okay, and in this way, or in this case, I'm leaving out some of the raw umber. As you can see, it's a little bit more vibrant now. So again, there's another variation and a different type of change, and let's play this in. Okay, after some Payne's Gray values and tone variations, I'm going to take now some of that same tone and just a little bit of paint on the brush, very light with more titanium white, and I'm just going to streak in just these little slashes here and there within this shape and leave most of that open. Okay, as you can see, again, more shapes, more gaps being left open here and there. Okay, so no cleaning again. I'm going to take some more titanium white. Okay, a little bit more, and I want to go in here, and I just kind of want to settle down some of that blue a little bit. It's going to be very light. I can even use my finger to sort of fade that out a little bit. Okay, and also right in here, let's put some of that. Okay, and with that same value, let's put a streak there and a streak there. Those are going to show some folds as well up at the top of the foil there. Okay, and also I'm going to streak some of that in down here as well. Alrighty, let's get some more titanium white now. Quite a bit. I want mostly white, and right here in this gray area here, I want to go ahead and put on either side, I want to leave a very dark sort of gap here, and this is going to show a protrusion or kind of like a divot in the foil in this area. Alrighty, again, more titanium white. And what I want to do is make it more of an obvious kind of a highlight protrusion here on this fold area. So just going to place this in and kind of fade it out a little bit, and this really ramps up just kind of some of the details that I'm starting to build now within this foil. Just kind of doing these things like this and leaving, of course, that gray in there, not covering all of that up. Alrighty, with that same value, I'm going to take and I'm going to streak this in. Okay, so again, as you can see, I'm putting values on top of base color and even adjusting colors. And it really is the way to do it, I find, in the acrylic world. Otherwise, it's going to take forever to go through every last little detail and put every exact color in the first time. I say just go for it with the general color, and then all you have to do is come in there with some values and change it up and hit some of it here and there and allow some of that base color to play along. And you really get a lot more done that way, and it becomes more effective. Okay, so with that dark value, you can see I'm just kind of barely scratching over some of this area. I want some of it to come over these shapes here a little bit. Okay, that just kind of settles them in and gives more of a natural reflective light and shadow play in this way. Okay, so with that same dark value, I'm going to go right up to this highlight there that I had done for the details of some folds here. And that's going to really pop and contrast that highlight right out of there with this. I'm just going to go up to the line and then fade it off into that gray just a little bit. And this, again, just takes it to another level, just kind of pops out the details this way. All right, more titanium white into that light Payne's gray blue color. Let's desaturate and brighten this up a little bit more. And with this, I'm just going to play this around. This just shows some highlight and a little ramp up of the reflective kind of color going on here with this. Alrighty, just pure titanium white. And right here I want to strike the edge, and that just really shows the edge shining and popping in the light there, kind of where the foil comes out. Okay, and then also right here I want to put a few triangular shapes, and I don't want to cover up all that gray value that you see here. And in this way, this shows more of the folds and details as I allow these different values and things to play together like this. Alrighty, now I'm going to go into some raw umber now. And I want to get more portrait pink into that. So as you can see, the portrait pink more or less takes the raw umber and warms it up just a little bit. And let's put that value here. Okay, so as you can see, all the values coming together now. We can see that portrait pink and all the different Payne's gray blue values, and of course the black, and how that all comes together. It's starting to look like foil now. We're starting to see the folds and all the bends and the crinkles. And this is what it's all about, having values play together to create the story to the eye that tells the brain what it's looking at and giving it all that realism and everything. Okay, so some permanent red into that, some more white into that raw umber and portrait pink mixture. Let's put some of that value in and scratch some here and there. All right, more titanium white. No other colors. I'm just going to take just pure titanium white, and I'm going to go in here and really just strike some direct highlights. And I'll put some little shapes here and there in some areas. And of course, anything I don't like, I can just cover back over. Okay, now I want to go back into that portrait pink and raw umber mixture. And I want to go onto this permanent black area here. I want to start down here. And as I bring it up, just kind of fade it up into that permanent black. Okay, right here with that same value in this space, I'm not going to cover it all up again. I'm just going to add some of this darker shape area or shape stuff in here. Okay, just kind of something like this. You can do this however. And this just again shows more details and folds this way. Alrighty, now it's time to get to the lemons. And for that, on my palette, I have added some yellow medium here, as you can see. I'm going to take some of that with some titanium white. And the white's really just to make it more opaque so that I can lay it down better. As you know, yellow is our most transparent color. Okay, so just like this, I'm going to get a good scoop, and I'll just block everything in with this general value for now. Okay, no cleaning. I'm going to take a little cat orange now, and I'm going to mix some of that yellow into it. Okay, just a little bit more yellow. Okay, and with this value, let's block in this one down here. Okay, now I'm going to go into some raw umber now and mix that into some of my yellow here. It's got a little bit of orange in there, but I'm really just looking for a dark shadow, or a darker shadow, not a super dark shadow. Okay, this is going to start to build the dimension and give it that 3D look to it. So something about this value, and it's not going to go in very well. I just kind of want to show you that it's better to let this dry a little bit first, because as you can see, it's going to start to mix in with that wet yellow that's there still, and in this way kind of run it thin and more or less make it harder for this other value to show up like it should. So as you can see, it's not really doing too much. It's more or less blending in with that yellow. Okay, but I'm just going to put it on anyways. I just kind of want to use this to map out where I want to put this shadow color at. So as you can see, I'm just going to drag it out like that to the right a little bit, and then over on the left just kind of have it more heavier over here. Alright, so I let it dry for just a little bit, and now I'm going to take again some raw umber into that yellow medium. And again, this is my shadow color for the lemon here. So something about this tone. So as you can see, when I put it down, now it shows up way better. It's not blending in anymore on top of that yellow. That's more dry now. And I'm just going to work this in and just kind of blend it and fade it around. And I'm not worried too much about it because I can always let this darker value dry if it's in the wrong spot. And I can always add more white to my yellow medium and cover back over something if it's out of place. All right, as you can see, I'm just dusting this out, just kind of letting it go where it wants to and just fading that off into that yellow medium value. Okay, so again, more orange. And right under here, there's going to be sort of this reflective orange kind of shadow color here, so I'll just throw this in right here. Okay, more of that lemon shadow color, a little bit more of the yellow medium into it. Okay, and on the very outsides of this orangey color, I'm just going to sort of glaze and dust that over a little bit where it meets the yellow medium value. Okay, and then a little bit heavier pressure, I can make a darker value appear in this way with that. Okay, and right in here, this creates, of course, shadow, and in this way, we're starting to form the 3D effect of these guys. Okay, with paint leaving the brush again, it makes it very easy to dust that out and fade that out to make it look like natural shadow play here as I go into that orange value with this. Okay, and of course, the harder I press with the brush, the more paint I'll lay down, and of course, the less that I touch the brush against the canvas, the lighter it will be, therefore giving it more of a blended look this way. Okay, not worried about how far I'm dragging this out. I really just want to keep that blended fuzzy effect going. I don't want to stop with a hard line because, as you know, in acrylics, it's hard to blend hard lines and it's easier when they're fuzzy. Okay, so again, taking that value again, that shadow color, let's go back in and I just want to put more of that in. As you can see, it kind of, sometimes it leaves a gap, as you can see. Doesn't lay down all the way, and that's okay. It just means it needs to dry a little bit more and I can come back in there and fill it in better. But for now, just getting values where they go and just building layers. And again, just dusting this out. Okay, I'm going to go into some cad orange now and some titanium white. I have a little bit of that shadow color on my brush, but not much at all. Okay, and right here I just kind of want to lay this color down, and I will adjust this, but this is just to get sort of a highlight of this orangey value involved here. Okay, without cleaning, I'm going to take some permanent red now into the mix. And with red, it is a duller, and it also is going to enhance some of this reflective shadow light in a way. Okay, just kind of putting this right here, and just a little bit of that. It's more like a hint. I'm not really wanting to make it red per se, but I'm just using it to kind of fade into what's already there. And in this way, it gives it more of a realistic shadow and kind of, like I said, a reflective color shine this way. All right, I'm going to pick up again some more yellow medium and titanium white together. And as you can see right here, again, this shadow color went out just a wee bit far, but that's cool. I can just come back over, like I said, and blend back over this and really take that shadow color and put it where I want it. Okay, so I have my number 8 natural round bristle brush. The natural bristles are going to make it really super easy to blend, and I love that brush. Had to give it a little drum tap there just to make the point that I love this brush so much for this. Okay, so I'm going to go out back into that shadow color of the raw umber and the yellow medium. And it did dry a little bit since I did leave it alone for a bit. And as you can see, it lays down a little bit better each time. This is also why layers are very important in acrylics, because you get to fill the holes in, you don't have to fight with them, and it just makes each layer that much better of a painting with more realistic effects and smoother blending and all of that. So this is the best brush, I would say, for blending, and it just does such a great job. You don't even have to really be good at blending to blend with this brush. I'm telling you, it does such a great job. Anybody, I believe, can blend with this brush. Okay, a little bit of cad orange as you saw there. I want to put just some of that in there. Okay, after some of that orange, a clean round bristle brush, and again, more of that yellow medium with a little white. And I want to go back in here and put it right here where it's obviously going to be more yellow. And then I want to move that paint into that dark shadow color a little bit. And I'm going to use this to settle this down a little bit by going over it. As you can see, I'm just going to sort of blend it over and let these natural bristles do what they do best. Just really blend over and settle this down. And this is really going to make it more natural looking and really give it more of a realistic look in this way. Okay, so without cleaning, a little bit more cad orange and yellow mixed now together. Okay, something like that. And I want to go up here and make this more vibrant to show some of this bright shine and highlight happening from our light source. And just, again, take that and blend it and scratch it down into those darker values. And it really gives that natural light and shadow play. Okay, no cleaning, and now more permanent red again. And just a teeny bit of paint on the brush. Again, these natural bristle brushes, they really make it easy to blend and settle in and glaze and all of that without taking over the whole picture with any one value. And that red just subtly ramps up the shine and really brings these colors out that much more. Okay, so what's also neat about this natural round bristle brush is I can take and tap this into white, and as I tap it, it frays out the bristles. And then when I tap the canvas, this is where I'm going to build the texture of the lemons and all of the different highlight details. So just tap, tap, tap. And again, this first layer of detail is not going to look like it should. So again, I just want to get the effect up there, and then I can work with that from there. Okay, without cleaning, just getting some more cad orange and again, tapping it. And then that frays out the bristles. That allows me to then tap on here and get all these little individual things. And I just want to settle that white down just a little bit. It just kind of something like this. Alrighty, I'm going to go into some raw umber now. I'm going to again tap, tap, tap. And right here, tap it around and just sort of play this around. Okay, just kind of however. And again, this tapping motion is what builds the texture. As you can see, it's starting to come alive now with the lemon. It just gives that rind, realistic look to it this way. Okay, and anything I don't like, I'll just take some yellow and white and just settle it back, cover it over. Anything I want to do anytime. Okay, and now I'm going to get some cad yellow, just a touch of cad orange, and again, tapping it. And let's go back in here. I just kind of want to very lightly, super light, hardly any paint on the brush. And again, very important is to have a dry natural bristle brush. These things only work when they're dry. And as you can see, I'm just settling this stuff down, and it really works to make it more natural, and it makes it look like it's part of the rind instead of something that's on the rind, if that makes sense. Okay, with a clean natural round bristle brush, I'm going to go into just titanium white and again tapping it. And then I'm tapping it on here for some direct highlights. Okay, just kind of like so in this area. And as you can see, it's giving that texture and that rind realism look to it. Okay, and on the very outsides, I'm just going to fade the rest of that white out. Okay, around it like this and just sort of blend it out into those darker values. Okay, and now this gives a really nice, very realistic look here to this lemon, as you'll see here. Okay, just kind of doing this. And isn't that nice? Okay, same thing down here with this lemon. I'm going to tap it in and then drag out the outsides as well. Alright, without cleaning, let's go back into the yellow medium and let's get just a teeny bit of cad orange into that. So the yellow really just warms up the orange. It makes it look like a very nice warm glow. And right here, I want to give this nice warm glow to this lemon here, as the light's not only hitting it, but then the reflection and the light hitting off of the foil that's also hitting it, I believe, would make this nice glow tone. And it really sets it off this way. Okay, just kind of something like that and just blending it out. And then also right up here, let's have some of that color be so glorious, glorious, glow, whatever you want to call it. And it's going to hit on some of this lemon as well, because it's such a nice traveling light effect with that color. And it ended up on some of that bottom lemon there, as you saw. Okay, so let's get some more orange and white now, and again, tapping that. So it's this very light orange value. And again, I want to tap on here, and I don't want pure titanium white, as this is a different value. But again, this shows the rind details, and it gives direct highlight in this way. Okay, without cleaning, now going into more yellow medium. Okay, and more titanium white. And again, I want to tap that, open those bristles up to get that rind detail effect. And right here in the light, I want to tap this in. Okay, now I have my number 3 round nylon brush, and with that I'm going to use the very point to make some detailed highlight stuff here. So pulling it through as I turned it, it brought it to a point, and just pure titanium white, I'm just going to take the tip, and I just want to hit just some of those here and there. And then of course on the outside again, I can still use this, even though it is not a natural brush. I can still use it to blend it out a little bit, see, just like that. Okay, and going back into more white, and I can even use my finger to settle it down a little bit, so again it looks like the rind is in the light shining instead of something that's white. on the rind, like some kind of substance or like a bird pooped on it maybe. I don't know, but just kind of settling it in makes it look more natural. Like I said, makes it look like it's part of the rind instead of something that's on it. Okay, some more yellow and a little bit of that orange and some titanium white. And over here, same thing. All right, I'm going to go ahead and sign now, and I want to thank you so much for all of your support and following along. Don't forget to subscribe if you dig my lessons, and don't let this intimidate you. I know it looks like a lot, but really it's super easy, just a few shapes and some values, and just really putting the color where it goes, and you're going to find the hardest part of this is really just mixing the values to be what they should. And even if you get them wrong, it's all good. You can just cover them up and adjust them anytime. So really go for it. I mean, you'll definitely turn out if you don't give up and you just hang in there and follow the steps. I promise you that. And with that said, I want to wish you well and happy painting.